So this is the Olympia typewriter that I showed you a few videos back when I was doing the photo assets for my website. Now, I'm not going to be talking much today. I really just want to work and, set up the camera somewhere and just, get my stuff done. But the plan is going to be executed in 2 stages. So for one, I'm going to repair everything mechanically, and the second is going to be a visual restoration. So my plan for the visual restoration, I haven't tested on this paint yet, but it's to use mineral spirits to clean out any gunk that's going to be sitting on the top levels of paint, and then to reapply something like a light coating of WD-40 on a rag on just the paint. Obviously, I'm going to keep it out of the type basket because that never works out too well for the typewriter. Now, the first part of that plan, or before I do either of those things, is going to be to do a typing test, just to see which keys are sticking and, what problems there might be mechanically in terms of advancing the carriage, returning the carriage, hitting backspace, things like that, right? So I'm just going to type here, and you can also get an idea of what's going on. Alright, so pretty bad sticking on 2. 3. The type bar stays up, so really bad sticking on the 3/4 key. So that oops. Z key is pretty bad. I mean, the typing experience is actually pretty good, minus the keys that skip. The shift is pretty heavy, so I wonder if there's any extra friction I can clear out, but given that this is a floating shift, where it just raises the carriage so that it hits a different part of the type bar, I doubt there's much I can do there. When I hit the return key, it made some weird clunking, so I'm going to just look at that mechanism and make sure that's all clean. I'll do it again here. Right, so I think that is probably going to be a sound that's just part of this typewriter, just with the way it's set up, but I don't like the way that it skips the sound, so it's not consistent. So, and then right here, no sound, right, and then it starts clicking again. So we'll see what that looks like mechanically, but let's start by just taking off the back panel and anything I can take off without damaging the rest of the machine. I know it's too dark for the camera to see, but I see a screw here, 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 and then this panel should drop out, and then I'll see if there's any screws in the bottom, but I'm not going to touch any of the painted stuff on the carriage yet, just because generally that's held in by these chrome bits, and I don't want to disassemble the entire carriage if I don't have to. So I'm trying to break into the back of this right now, but what it looks like is there's a lip on this edge. I know the camera angles. There's a lip on the paint here, and there's a matching lip on the interior metal piece in here. So this isn't dropping out. So I'm assuming this is actually just meant to be a vision window into the typewriter here, but off camera I'm going to see if I can get this out. But these are the screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, for the feet, and these 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, are actually holding the body in, which is super helpful. I thought this was a machine from the 40s where the body is actually connected to the mechanism and they're not separable, but based on that I think I can drop the mechanics straight out the top of this typewriter, so I don't have to worry about taking off the main panels. I did take off the top cover and one cover here from the type bars just because they were really easily accessible, and I'm assuming I would need to take them out, but now I'm just going to pop these 4 out. I can see there are rubber spacers between the mechanics and the body, and they look like they need to be replaced, but I don't have any, so I think I'm just going to reuse them. I'm really careful here. I should be able to slide this off. Perfect. Kind of scary there because I can't see what's going on, so I have to feel where I'm touching things incorrectly. Let me make sure. Holding it securely. And here is the body. Perfect. So let me put this back on my workbench and move you guys back into an angle where you can see what's going on in here. Alright, so we have a pretty simple procedure here. What I'm going to do is start with the type basket. I'm going to take this rag and I'm going to lay it under all these type bars, and I'm going to go in with my toothbrush, one of these two, and some mineral spirits, and just clean out all the gunk in there. And when I'm done with that, I'm going to try to put some more mineral spirits on this rag and go over and just clean out all the little areas that have gunk in them. Just from that alone, my finger has now become gray. So there's tons of stuff in there, and I think once I clean out all the muck, then the typewriter should work perfectly, because that's usually what's goes on with these machines. It's just they've been sitting for so long, they've got so much crap in all of the little gears and all the little moving pieces that they barely move. So type basket, wipe everything down, and then I'm probably going to try to clean the sub-type bars. So the way that these old machines work is there's a direct linkage between each of these and every key, and the way that works is that you press the key, a bar drops here, a secondary bar drops up top, and that bar pulls on this final bar that gives you a keystroke. So each of those little contact points is another point where, you know, previous lubrications could have already dried up or turned into gunk. So each of those also has to get cleaned out, and I'm going to do that all off camera and come back and show you the new typing experience.
Alright, so bear with me. I hope you can kind of understand me. I know it's going to be a bit difficult, but there's a lot of chemicals in my room, and I really would like to preserve some brain cells. But mechanically, the typewriter is complete. I was actually really happy because all I did was clean everything and just looked at places that looked a bit corroded or had some oxidization, and I just went over it with, you know, some 5,000 grit sandpaper, my wire brush, some mineral spirits, and cleaned it all up, and that actually solved everything on that front. So I was really happy there. Now, when I went to go do the cosmetics, which is also now complete, I couldn't save the 4 rubber spacers. So I'm going to go to Home Depot and buy some replacement nylon ones, come back, and then put this whole thing back together and just show you a final typing test. I know this is a kind of short video, and I didn't show much of my process, but the point here is just to show, you know, this is a typewriter. Let me at least explain to you what I'm doing. And if you guys want to see more of this content, I do have another typewriter that needs to be repaired. It's an old Royal. I think it's a Quiet DeLuxe or an Aristocrat, one of the two. So if you guys want to see a longer format video of something like this, I can do it with that typewriter.